training business owners, right? So that they can know. And so most times I always like to recommend tools also, so that it's not just that I'm telling you, oh, this is how to do it, this is how, and I don't recommend tools for you. Take, for example, when I'm training business owners on business automation, AI and business automation, which is one of the key trainings that I do, AI and business automations. I don't just tell you, oh, do this, do this. I open tools and I show you. And I say, okay, this is how to use ChatGPT as a business owner. This is how to use Claude as a business owner. This is how to use this tool as a business owner. You know, the way a business owner interacts with ChatGPT is not the same way an ordinary student basically interact with ChatGPT. So I'm just trying to give context into what today's trade is going to be like. So one of the tools that we developed, or I developed, right, with, of course, my company developed, is called Zero Finance, right? And Zero Finance is basically finance operations tools. It's a finance operation. Basically, it's a tool that helps you help business SMEs manage their financial operations end to end. And I'm going to be, of course, talking about that as well. But before we go into that, let's even look at the anatomy of financially healthy business. Listen, tax is not a big deal. It is just, we in Nigeria, we just like making things look as if it's big deal. These tax laws are not new laws. They are not new. These laws have always been existing. It's just now they are being enforced. So now they have been looked at, right? They have been looked at, and some of the laws have been adjusted. It's not like these laws are new. They have only been adjusted, and now the government is serious about enforcing them. But trust me, businesses have been paying tax for ages in this country, right? Businesses have been paying tax in this country for ages, so it's not like these tax laws are new. No, they are not new. Please get that one straight. But now it is being enforced, and of course the government is not playing with anybody anymore. And of course we knew this the moment our president got into power. We knew that one of the things that he's going to take seriously is taxes. And so we, as a company, we saw it ahead of time. We started building tools that would help business owners make this thing seamless for them. And so because as a business owner, you need to look at, if you want to be successful as a business owner, you need to always look at the trend, political trends, right? To know that, okay, if this is happening, this is happening. If this is happening, this is happening. So when we saw that Mr. President had taken over, we knew that, okay, finance is going to be one of his major agenda. And so we as a company built a finance tool because we knew that, just give it time. Mr. President is going to make finance top and center. And of course, as we predicted, it happened. And so, but the bottom line is this: a financially healthy business has nothing to fear when it comes to tax, right? Because at the bedrock of all taxation, right, is financial clarity, is financial records. That is the foundation of anything tax. And if you have the financial records straight, you have nothing whatsoever to worry about. So the three pillars of a financially healthy business is: number one, clear financial records; two, structured documentation; three, tax compliance. Trust me, tax compliance is part of what makes your business healthy. If you're not tax compliant, there's some companies that will not do business with you. Trust me, I've seen it happening. There are some contracts you will not get if you're not tax compliant. There are some contracts you will not even get, right? And even in LSCTF, right, there are some things you want to apply for. Most things actually they will ask you for your tax clearance and things like that. So tax compliance is part of being financially healthy, because if you're not tax compliant, it's going to affect you in the future. You would think maybe you are hiding, you are running away, but trust me, tax evasion is one of the biggest financial crimes in the world. Not Nigeria, in the world, tax evasion is one of the biggest financial crimes. It's one of the biggest. And of course, people have been getting away with it in Nigeria because Nigeria is Nigeria, right? But you see, in the US, in the UK, tax is not something you even negotiate. You pay it without even reading. It's like doing data. It's like we do data in Nigeria. You have how you pay tax in the US and the UK. It's normal. It's not even something that I argue about again. Right? So, and Nigeria is coming into that point where taxation is becoming a normal thing. Right. So, and you are trying to escape it is actually a crime. So please don't have that at the back of your mind that you want to escape, you want to dodge. That's not why we're here. We're here to tell you what to do to get it right. All right. So three pillars, like I've mentioned: clear financial records, structured documentation, and which then leads to tax compliance. So without a clear financial records and structured documentation, tax filing becomes very, 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 very difficult. Right? It becomes very, very difficult. Right. So let's proceed. Let's proceed. All these things is going to add up into taxation, right? So just be patient and follow me. What are the signs of a financially unhealthy business, right? Signs of a financially unhealthy business. Mixing personal and business finance, business money. That is like the oldest of all. That's like the biggest, right? The biggest problem. And of course, I want to mention at this stage, if there's any business owner here that is still using personal account to collect business money, I don't know. I should probably flog you in 2026. I should flog you because you as in this 2026, you are still doing that. I don't even want to believe that there's anybody here that still does that. Please, I don't tell me that there's anybody here that still collects business money in their personal account. But just in case, you can in this life, you can never really tell. So please, if you are here, you still collect business money in your personal accounts. Just don't be shy. Just raise your hand up. Let me see you. Just give me an emoji. Let me know the people that I'm going to be flogging. Are you serious? There's somebody really. Wow. Are you serious? Okay, who else? Who else? Who else? No, no, no. I mean, this is okay. Two people. Wow. Okay. You still collect your business money in personal accounts. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, please. I'm counting. I'm seeing them. I'm counting two people so far. Right. No, the thing is, we are here to help you. Right. So there's nothing to be shy about. So if you are shy about it, you will not get the help that you need. All right. So please, the oldest trick, the foundation of financial structure in any business is separating your business money from your personal money. Please, like foundational, right? Now, I told you I'm going to be showing you side by side. Look, I'm trying to see. I want to be able to switch between my browser and my slides. So okay, I'll do that. I'll probably stop sharing and then share again so I can select both. All right, so mixing personal and business money is a complete no-no. Like, it's a complete 100% no. Number two is not knowing your actual monthly profit. So if you're a business owner, say I can ask you, how much was your profit in January 2026? How much was your profit in February 2026? I can bet it here that most people don't know. They just know that they made money, sha. They just know that they made money, sha. Like, money they enter account. So let's move on. So please, let me go ahead and ask again. How many people here actually know your profit? Like, if I ask you, what was your profit for January? What's your profit for February? How many people here know? Raise your hand if you know your profits for January and know your profits for February in your business. Just raise your hand. No, I'm actually here to help you. This is why LSCT have put this training together. So please don't be shy about it. Just raise your hand if you can show that, yes, my profits for January was 100,000. I'm not talking about revenue. Revenue is all the money you made. Profit is you've now removed staff salary, you've removed expenses, you've removed data money, you've removed all kinds of expenses. what is left after you remove your cost of doing business is your profits. So nobody here knows, like nobody. Okay, yes, I'm seeing some hands up in the comments. That's good. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. One person. That's good. So I mean, if you've gotten to a point where every month you can categorically say my profit is 200,000, you are on a you are flying. You're on the road to becoming a multi-billionaire business, honestly speaking. But if you do not know your profits, I can assure you that, man, you are not taking your business seriously. Then number three sign of financial ill health is calculating revenue but ignoring your expenses. Number four is you don't do your monthly, you don't set money aside for tax, right? As we're going to be seeing soon, there are different types of tax. There's some tax you pay monthly, there's some tax you pay yearly. One of the signs of a financial healthy business is that every month you're able to separate money for tax based on calculations, right? And then number two, you're operating your business without receipt and invoices. Mind you, this is this new tax era, right? You are expected that every income you receive should come with an invoice. Every money you spend should come with a receipt. Of course, I'm going to be showing you a tool that will help you in creating invoices and receipts in this same training today. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. All right. Now, before I come to that next slide, right? I think at this point, I'm going to try to introduce you to the tool I've been talking about so that we do not get this thing that is all abstract and these things are just difficult and, oh, I don't understand what is being talked about. But I'm sure you are enjoying this training so far, right? Because of course, nobody comes to a coach at that training and don't enjoy themselves thoroughly, right? Because this is what I do all day, every day by day trainings. And this tax training is probably one of the few trainings I've done more times than any other type of training in the last couple of days. So let me reshare my screen so that I can. Okay, I want to. No, I can't share my entire desktop. So I'm sharing the slides. I'm also sharing Firefox as well. Wait, can I share two stuff at the same time? Oh, means I have to share my entire desktop. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's share the entire desktop if that's what it takes. All right. So I'm sharing my entire desktop now. Yeah, just so that I can show you the tool I'm talking about. Right. All right. So please just alert me if you can see my screen now so that I'm very sure that I'm still being heard loud and clear. Okay, well, I want to believe that you are seeing my screen anyway. But if at any point in time you cannot see my screen, please do well to draw my attention to it so that I can quickly adjust that. But that being said, let me go to my browser. Yes, so basically the tool I've been talking about so far, right, is Zero Finance. Right? This is what I was telling you about that we started building it the moment we saw that, okay, things change in politics and finance is going to take center stage. And this is very, very tied to what we are talking about today, right? In this particular tool, we built it, just like I said, to be able to make tax filing easy for businesses, right? All the tools you need. So basically invoices, receipts, contracts, bookkeeping, tax calculator, all those things, right? And please, as much as possible, this is the URL, zero.com. Go ahead and, sign up on it and start. I'm going to be showing you some few things about it, but I already went ahead. Oh, okay. This one has logged off. Let me go ahead and log in again. So I logged into one of our accounts. One of our demo accounts we're going to be using to do demonstrations today, right? And just to show you how it works as it regards to taxes, right? So that I don't just tell you this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, and I don't show you how to do it. I don't show you how to do it. That's not a good training, basically. Right. Okay. Now let's continue. Now, what are the required documents for taxes? Okay, before we go into this, let me go to the slide that talks about the categories of taxes, right? Let me go and let's talk about the categories of taxes first of all, right? And as you can see, there are four major categories of taxes that concerns business owners, right? There is the company income tax, there is the value added tax, there is the payee, and that's, yes, there's a personal income tax, and then there is a withholding tax. Those are the four major types of tax that affect Nigerian businesses, right, today. And those are the types of tax that would most likely get you in trouble if you do not get it right. And so, but of course, we are here to make sure that you get it right. So I don't know if I have my, hold on, but I don't know if I have Mr. Pei here on this call. Mr. Pei, if you're on this call, please go ahead and just say hi so that I can hear you. And then, of course, you could go ahead and say something about these four categories of taxes. If you are here, but if you're not here, I will just go ahead and run it myself. Just wave at me. I'm trying to look at the participant now. I cannot see you except you are here with another name. Okay, so anyway, that being said, let me just go ahead and run it myself. Yeah. Okay, so the four major types of tax, just like I've mentioned, company income tax is a tax that basically is concerned with your profits for the entire year, right? It's concerned with your profits for the entire year, so January to December. Yeah, whatever you made as profit, now not revenue. So let's say, for example, you made 70 million naira in the year 2025, for example, and out of that 70 million naira, 20 million is your profit. What government wants is 30% of that profit, of that 20 million, which is your profit, right? So it is 30% of your net profits. That is it. And of course, there's no way you would be able to you'll be able to know your net profit if you're not keeping accurate financial records. You know what I said at the beginning was that financial wellness, financial records, accurate documentation is the bedrock and foundation of anything tax compliance. And so how would you know your revenue and your net profit to be able to calculate your 30% company income tax if you've not been keeping records from the beginning of the year? This is why everybody is struggling and scrambling right now, because most people don't keep financial records. And so they're just trying to do what they cannot do so that they will pay their company income tax. And so that is just it. And then the next is value added tax. Value added tax is, of course, as we know, 7.5% of revenue. So value added tax is the only tax that is like, it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with your profit, it has to do with your revenue, right? And value added tax is 7.5% of every money you make. And so what happens most of the time is that people kind of like push this 7.5% to the customer to pay. So most time when you're creating invoices, right, people just go ahead and, say, oh, value VAT, VAT, and they put it at 7.5%, depending on how much the invoice is, right? And I think that a lot of them are getting it wrong as regards that, because there's a certain threshold you even need to reach before you can start charging VAT. So I wanted to do something with a particular company, and they sent me, oh, value added tax. And I just laughed. I said, see these people, are you supposed to be paying? In short, I just don't want to start giving them lecture on finance. But basically, it's not every business that's eligible to charge a VAT, right? And we'll probably get to that later anyway. And then of course there's the personal income tax as a payee tax. I think this is a tax that has to do with if you're earning money from your side also, or from whatever you do, right? You're supposed to declare it to the government. The government wants to know about it, and the government wants to collect a percentage of that. And then there's the withholding tax. The withholding tax is the tax that your employees, your employer basically, or the tax you deduct from your employees, basically, right? Money you pay your employees. you're supposed to pay tax on their behalf, basically, and deduct it from their accounts, from what you pay them. So that's just the four major tax that how will I put it, that Nigerian businesses are concerned with. So the truth is, the knowledge of these four types of tax is not hidden, right? If you go online, you can always read up on this thing. I'm sure many people have made YouTube videos about it. Instagram is buzzing with so many videos about all these types of taxes. So information about all these things are not even hidden, right? What I am concerned about, what I am, is a business coach and a finance manager and a finance coach. And what I'm concerned about is your financial structure as a business. Because what I keep coming back to is the fact that if you don't have a financial structure, calculating taxes is going to be extremely difficult. It's going to be difficult to track all those things. And that's just it. So it's a financial, or if it's when you have a financial structure that you will now be able to take, for example, one of the things I've mentioned before. You know what? Let me not get ahead of myself, right? Let me now go back to what is the roadmap for being tax ready? What is the pathway for being tax compliant, for being tax ready, right? And number one thing is financial separation, creating boundaries between your personal money and your business money. Now, mind you, this is not legal compliance, right? But let me, finance and legals have there are ways they intertwine, there are crossroads, there are some ways they overlap, right? And one of the things, of course, in Nigeria, before you open a business bank account in Nigeria, you must have your CAC registration, right? Now, that is simply because the financial system in Nigeria and in most countries, right, recognize that you are a separate entity, your business is a separate entity. Have you not seen on the news that some businesses go bankrupt, some businesses go down, yet the founder of that business is still driving Ferrari in town? The founder of that business is still driving Range Rover and is still living in his posh apartments in Lekki and eating good food and traveling, even though his business has gone down. That is simply because under the law, you are a separate entity, your business is a separate entity. So even if your business goes down, right? Somebody says, God forbid, it does not mean that you are going down. So if your business gets into legal troubles, it is not, most often than not, right? You personally are insulated from that trouble, right? I'm not a lawyer, but of course, being that I'm a business developer, I understand some of these basic things, right? In terms of business law, and that is it. That is the reason why separation must happen between your business and you as an individual. It's very, very important. So that, and when you are able to have your business account, right, you would be able to then receive all business monies in that business account. That is the foundation of any financial structure I've been talking about, I've been hammering on since morning, right? That's the foundation. So without a business account, you definitely will not be able to, create a financial structure for your business. Now, one of the things that Zero does for you is giving you the ability to have that business account seamlessly, right? So take, for example, one of the things that we give you at Zero is a business wallet, right? In this particular platform, it's a business wallet, because we understand that it is very important for businesses to have a business wallet in order for them to create this financial structure, right? That we've been talking about in the first instance. So take, for example, this particular business here that I'm using as an example, right? If you click on, for example, let's click on, for example, fund wallets, for example, right? You will see that there is a business wallet attached to it, right? And this business wallet is in if you come to the left-hand corner of this screen, you will see this is the name of the business. You see, have you seen Epic Life Global? Have you seen it? So it is not whoever the founder of this business is, right? This is a separate entity. Epic Life Global is a separate entity. The founder of this business could be Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Joy, as whatever the case may be. But what happens is that when you copy this account number and you put it in any bank app, what will come out is not Mr. Johnson or Mrs. Joy. It is this company name. And that is just it. That alone has created a separation, right? Of course, and of course, we went through a lot to be able to make this possible, right? To be able to make this possible for business. Of course, there are so many other tools, there's so many other fintechs that give you this feature, right? So it's not as if we're the only ones that have the ability to give you a business wallet, right? It's not. But this is the foundation. And of course, we do it, you can have this within 2 minutes, right? In short, less than 2 minutes, because the sign-up process is very, very straight to the point. So this is, of course, this is the homepage, right? When you come here and click get started, you can just, right, fill in your name. When you get to, you know what, let's make this practical. Let me just show you a day value, right? But of course, I would like you, when you're filling this name, just go ahead and fill in your business name, right? So let's say, for example, Milk Shake Factory, Lagos. It's just fictitious, right? Factory. And then, of course, you put your number 08012121212. This is just sample, right? you@you.com. This was a sample, and then you click next, and you put in your password. And then you click on next. Now you see these points, very important, please. If you want that business wallet I just talked about to start the financial structure you need, please toggle it in and then do your verification. If you do not toggle this on, you will not get that business wallet. But of course, you can go ahead and create an account. But I'm not going to do that right now because I'm using one as a sample already. Right. So that is just it. So creating a business account never been easier. Never been easier. Straight to the point, right? Now, because you need that. Now, of course, there are so many other, there are a lot of banks, there are a lot of fintechs you can use to create your business accounts. I just showed you one. I know there are going to be questions, right? But please write down your questions. Please just write down your questions. I'm going to take all your questions at the end. Just note them down, please. Just so that we do not overextend this training. So we don't take the questions in between. But I promise I will answer all your questions. Right. So yes, I mean, there is all kinds of banks in town, but the only difference, see, one of the reasons that fintechs are winning over commercial banks is because fintechs makes the process easy. I just showed you how to get a business wallet under 1 minute. But of course, a normal commercial bank, I've opened a number of business accounts in normal commercial banks before. I know the sweat I went through. I know the amount of forms I filled and guarantors I had to beg. I beg, help me sign. I beg, help me sign guarantors. I went through all that because somehow those guys, their processes, they have processes, which I 100% respect their processes, right? But of course, fintechs make this whole process easy, right? And this platform we built makes it very, very easy. So the first step is separating your business account from your personal account. I know most people here have done that already. They already have business accounts. So no, there's no big deal, right? Let's continue to the next. The next thing is daily tracking of your expenses. Now, remember I told you that the foundation for tax compliance is financial records. I keep mentioning this because, look, I cannot hammer it enough. It's financial records. And so you have to, as a business owner, whether you're a service provider, whether you are selling products, physical products, you have to track your expenses. And I want to believe that most of the people on this call are young people, right? They are young people that are, to a certain extent, tech savvy. I mean, you are using Zoom, right? Either on your phone or your tablet or your laptop to attend this this seminar right now. So to a certain extent, I want to believe that you are tech savvy. You understand how to interact with technology, right? If you can have an OPay account, if you can have a money point account, it means you are a bit tech savvy, right? At least a little bit, right? So you must be able to track your income. You must be able to track your expenses. So example of income are, take for example, sales, service you've provided to your clients, transaction with reversals, all those things like that. And then expenses are things like rent, salary, supplier, marketing, logistics, transportation, all kinds of things, right? So the monies you spend all throughout your day, you should be able to have record of them. The monies you make throughout your day, throughout your week, you should be able to have records of them. Very important. And please, this is perhaps one of the most important part of it. Because if you do not have this part, if you do not get this part right, your tax compliance is going to have problems, right? So please, now, of course, again, we have tools for this. We have tools for this. So take, for example, this is like transaction history of this particular demo account that we're using to show you, right? If you can see, there's inflow, there is outflow, there is all kinds of things. But let's go back to the dashboard, right? And you would come here and you would see that there's a tool here called bookkeeping. What is bookkeeping? Bookkeeping simply means financial, your sales record. That's what bookkeeping is, right? So if you click on bookkeeping, for example, right, you would see that this is your financial. This is basically a tool that is used basically for recording your transactions on a daily basis. Now, some people use the manual of writing it down on a book, on a pen and paper. People have sales book, and that is not bad, right? But you see, the disadvantage of having a sales book is that at some certain point, you will need to, if you want to really do, if you want to go digital, you will need to convert most of what you've written in that your hardcover notebook into a digital kind of thing, right? Which, because most accountants or most accounting software basically would need those things to be converted to electronic. And so rather than, and of course, we are in the tech age. This is 2026. I don't believe people should still be using book and pen to be tracking sales anyway, especially like I said before, if you are tech savvy to a certain extent, please, there are a lot of tools you can use to do it, right, to track your income and expenses, but this is just one of them. This is just one of them. So take, for example, if you want to keep track your expenses, all you have to do is come here, take, for example, okay, this expense, let's say, for example, data subscription, right? Let's one of the most, okay, let's go ahead and put data 10,000 naira, right? It's a data subscription should be part of your business expense. I believe so. If you can just say 10,000, categorize it on that data, and there are different categories here. And then you can add notes and say data for staff, right? For example, data for staff, and then you click add save entry and then expense. So you can say, okay, let me go to income. Okay, I made a sale today. Let's say, for example, milkshake enterprise. So I sold 50, well, I fulfilled 50 orders of milkshake. And all of that amounts to, let's say 2,000 naira a cup, right? So let's say that amounts to 100,000 naira. Well, that's 100,000 naira worth of milkshake that you sold. So that's a sales revenue, right? Right. So that's just it. So you can categorize, you can add notes, because notes are optional, and then you can save. So income 100,000, expense 10,000. Let's also, okay, delivery, right? So you spent additional 10,000 to deliver that milkshake to your customer, right? So you can say, okay, we can categorize that under transportation, right? And you can just come and add notes here and say delivery fee. So very simple, and you save entry, right? Am I getting something wrong here? No, I'm not. I'm not. So basically, That's just it, right? That's just it. Then you can come to the insights, you see your summary. I mean, we've made this thing very colorful so that you can see the entries, you can edit. So if, for example, you made a mistake here, okay, yes, I did make a mistake. It's supposed to be 10,000, not 100,000. See, that's why editing is good. So, we've talked about all these things when we're creating this platform. So 10,000 naira, yeah, I believe so, yeah. So uh updates. Okay, so that's basically 10,000 now. That's not 10,000. Hold on. Okay, this. All right, so you go back to the dashboard now. Yes, okay, so that's corrected itself. I was wondering what was going on. So yes, that's the advantage of being able to edit your entries anyway of your expenses in case maybe you made a mistake. Then of course you can come here transactions. Now, these transactions basically the way it works is that all all your transfer that you've been doing, transfer for this, transfer for that, you can click and add it, basically add to journal, add it to expense. And it will ask you what category is it, rent, food, or whatever it is, right? So that since you're having all your transactions in one place, you can automatically just add them to your bookkeeping, right? But of course, we're working on a feature whereby it's automatically added, right? So you don't need to manually add the plus you are spending money during the day, doing transfer, it's automatically being added to all this to your bookkeeping records, right? So that is just it, right? Let's continue with this with what I'm saying. So basically, tracking your income and expenses daily is very, very important because one of the things I mentioned about your company income tax is that it's calculated from your profit and loss, right? It's calculated from your income and expense. It's calculated from your net profits. And you cannot get your net profits without first calculating, subtracting your expenses from your revenue. That's when you get net profits. And you are now able to calculate 30% of it. You get what I'm trying to say? So tracking your income and expenses is non-negotiable in this tax era. It's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. So let's continue. Like I said, I'm going to answer more questions at the end of it. So let's move. Yeah. So of course I've talked about this slide already, right? Which is profits equals to revenue minus expenses. So that will now give you what you need to pay for your company income tax and your personal income tax. But of course, VAT is your revenue, right? So let's proceed. I've done that already. All right. What are some of the documents required for your tax filing? What are some of the things you need for your tax filing? And you need a complete financial statement, profit and loss and balance sheet, right? Profit and loss and balance sheet. Now, a financial statement is made up of three different things. There is the profit and loss, there's a balance sheet, there's an income statement, there is the cash flow statement, right? Now, the cash flow statement is what is referred to as the balance sheet. Yes. Yes. I needed to come back to this slide. I think I skipped this slide. This slide is what these three things that you are seeing here, what I just talked about, income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. This is what comprises of a financial statement. So you've been hearing financial statements all this while. These are the three documents that are contained in the financial statement. And how do you create a financial statement? You create a financial statement. There are two major things you need to create a financial statement, right? You need, in Nigeria today anyway, especially as a small business, you need your bank statements, which is what you print out. So take, for example, like I was showing you, these expenses, all these transactions, right? All this transfer you do, income, outcome, income expense, right? Every bank app has it. You can always go back to and export it, right? You can export your financial statements and then to tell you what range. You can then select which range. Every bank app can do this, right? So you can export it from any bank app, right? But of course, it makes sense if you have everything in one place. So you can export this. That's number one thing you need to create your financial statements, right? Your bank statements. Bank statement, financial statements are two different things. Don't confuse them, please. Now, the next thing you need to create a financial statement, the second thing is your sales record. And your sales record is basically what you've done in your bookkeeping, right? What you've done in your bookkeeping throughout the month. So if you've been recording all your sales, okay, you made a sale of 100,000, you did airtime 10,000, you paid transport 10,000, you paid salary 70,000, you did this 100,000, you made sale again 500,000. Your bookkeeping records. With your bookkeeping records, with your bank statements, you can create a very accurate financial statement that comprises of these three things: income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. What tax people are most interested in, right, is this profit and loss, this P&L that is written here. Let me go back to that slide. This is part of the document required. Is your profit and loss. They want to see your inflow, outflow, inflow, outflow, inflow, outflow, right? Now, why it is not very nice to just show them your bank statement is because it's not every credit in your bank that is actually income. Sometimes it's bank reversal, sometimes it's refund. But if you just show them only your bank statements, every green that they see, they will just count it as revenue. Meanwhile, it's not necessarily revenue. But if you have your bookkeeping records to back up, it now gives you a more clearer picture of your financial records. You see what I've been shouting since morning? That's why I say records, 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 right? The next thing you need is your full expense documentation, right? So you see this bookkeeping records, right? You can view all, and then you can export, right? You can export it. The same way you can export your bank statements, you can also export your bookkeeping records. I mean, on this app, I don't know about other apps anyway, but you can say, okay, I want to export for the last 7 days, for the last 30 days, for the last 3 months, right? And then you download it. Trust me, any accountant you give your bank statements to, you give your bank statements and your bookkeeping records to, can create a financial statement for you that comprises of your income statement, your cash flow statement, your balance sheet. In short, even if you, let me just give you a cheat here. Let me whisper it. Let me whisper it. Even if you give it to ChatGPT, ChatGPT will do it for you. I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm not supposed to say that kind of a thing out loud, right? For those who heard it, so I'm not going to say it twice. If you not hear it, that is for you. If you did not hear it, you've missed out on that one. All right. So basically, if you have those two documents, trust me, you are good. You are good. You are good. You don't have any problem. And that is why we built this, we built Seedwell, right? you heard it. Okay, that's good. Those who heard it well. All right, so let's continue with this trade. Let's continue with this trading. Of course, you need your bank statements. Yes. So this number 3 document here, bank statement for the fiscal year, right? Just like I mentioned before, there are taxes you file yearly, there are taxes you file monthly. Now, company income tax is filed yearly. That is most likely the most difficult. Company income tax and personal income tax are filed yearly. Those are the most difficult types of taxes because it requires your financial records for the entire year. And for company income tax, I don't know if they would change that particular, if they would change that law, but for now, you require an audited financial statement, not an ordinary financial statement, right? Basically, an audited account statement is the account statement that an auditor has signed, basically, right? to me, there's nothing, from my perspective, there's nothing special about an ordinary financial statement and an audited financial statement, apart from the fact that there is an auditor's stamp and seal on it, right? Auditors are accountants, but they are, how will I put it? They are in a different level of accounting, right? It's not all accountant that can sign your financial statement as being audited. No, they are auditors. An auditor has to do it, and that's why it's expensive, right? So an audited account statement, the cheapest that we have seen, and how we do it, right? Because we have a consult, apart from the app, we have a consulting arm that does it. People do it for us. I mean, 200,000. That's like the least I've seen, right? Because it's basically your financial records for the whole year. It's not like something that it's not the monthly one that you can do and you can even do it yourself, right? It's your audited statement for the whole year, and it's a lot of work. Depending on your transaction, some people's bank statements for the whole year are nearly 300 pages in short self. That's even small, depending on how frequent your transaction is. So it's a lot of work, right, to get that audited statement done. But you see, if you've been doing it every month from January to December, doing the yearly one would be very easy, because all you have to do is put together all the monthly financial statements for the 12 months and give it to the auditor. The auditor will not even do much work on it, and it will be very easy for him to just put append his stamp and seal on it. The reason why the government requires an audited statement is because you see, documents can be falsified, right? That's why I said before that, tax evasion is one of the most serious financial crimes anywhere in the world, right? So, just like I was giving an example before, somebody can earn 70 million in the course of doing business in the year. And, the government says, okay, I want 30% of your net profit, and your net profit is 20 million. Government want 30% of that 20 million. You can go and lie to government and say, no, out of that 70 million, my expense is 69 million. My profit is only 1 million, right? That is why they want audited statement, because no auditor will lie for you. No auditor will lie for you. Any auditor that lies for you, is putting his license at risk. Is putting his license at risk. So if the auditor lies for you and signs for you, I'm not saying people don't do it though. Trust me, financial crimes is everywhere, right? People falsify documents a lot, but please avoid it, because if you are found out, the kind of trouble you will enter, if you are found out, trust me, that money you were trying to save, you will spend times 3 of it at the end of the day. So at the beginning of this year, in short, in December last year, a friend of mine sent me document that FIRS sent to her. They have billed her 75 million, and she has to pay that money. Why did they bill her 75 million? Because FIRS have sent her. There is no way FIRS will send you a bill like that if they have not been monitoring you. They have been monitoring you now. You think these guys are not, these guys are trained. Tax people are highly trained. So if you think you can outsmart them, give up. I'm advising you now, give up. You cannot outsmart tax people, especially Nigerian tax people, because the same way you think you are smart, it's not the same Nigerians that are running the tax system. They are also smart like you now. So they know that Nigerians will try to outsmart them. So they too will find way to be smarter than you. So no auditor will want to put reputation at stake, because if they find out that what you did was falsified, trust me, you and the accountant are in trouble, right? And so that's 100,000 I mentioned, right? It's like the list. Of course, you have big accounting firms like KPMG, Ernst and Young, that they do those kinds of auditing in millions and tens of millions, right? So that's why I say it's really one of the most difficult, because some people tell you that, oh, I'm not making money. How can I pay 300,000, 400,000 for audited account statements, all those kinds of things? Well, I mean, you just have to find a way, except maybe the government changes its mind and say, you know what, you no longer need audited bank statement to file your CIT. then it's all good, right? Then you need your tax identification number. Now, please hear me and hear me well. The tax identification number on your CAC documents is not activated. So let me just bust your bubble there, because I've personally, I've just with a lot of clients that will tell you, oh, why are you charging us to do verification, this and that and that and that? That don't you see that tax number on my CAC? I tell you now, go and use it and file your tax and see whether it will go. Right? Normally, ideally, it should not be so. Right? Your CAC, your CAC and CAC and FIRS should collaborate, so that the moment you register your business, the tax identification number on your CAC document is already active. But of course, you know that nothing in Nigeria is easy. So they will just put it there for you, right? You will then go and activate it. And that's another process on its own. So you probably need to activate it, right? Some people here know what I'm talking about. Some people that have done their own, of course, I know they know what I'm talking about, right? And then, of course, another documents you need is possibly your previous tax filing and correspondence. Because if you've done your previous tax filing, then you need to be able to show it also that, yes, I'm tax compliant previously. And so this. Now, now let me also show you how our tool can help you with receipts and invoices, right? So let me go back to the dashboard, right? Of course, right here, you would see that you could create invoices, right? Very important. You can create invoices. You could create receipts electronically. Let me go back. Create invoices. You could create receipts. So instead of using paper receipts, you can definitely create electronic receipts and make sure that both parties sign. And of course, both parties can sign electronically, right? Please find time and go through this application yourself, right? You will find it really useful in your financial operations going forward. Even the tax manager, there is the tax manager is something that you can these guys, man, my guys are not playing. They are looking for money at all costs. Okay. I thought I was going to be able to show you a sample of how the tax manager works, how the tax calculator works. But basically, it estimates your tax for you, right? It estimates your tax for you. I'm not able to show you because this particular demo account has not been upgraded to pro account just yet. But basically, it just estimates your taxes. If you tell it the truth, it will estimate your taxes. But of course, this is just estimation. You still need to have someone really verify it and give you, just like we say, yeah, Zero Finance provides tax estimation based on user inputs, right? So please, but of course, it just gives you an understanding of what my taxes are going to be. Okay, there's a lot of talking, right? Obstacles to financial wellness. Of course, Zidwell gives you business accounts, gives you invoices, tax prediction, daily bookkeeping, money transfer, all kinds of things you need to run your finances. Questions. I've been talking now for close to an hour. Of course, I do this every day, but then it's time for me to start answering your questions because I know that a lot of people have questions here. And I hope that my Mr. Okpe is here. That would also help me answer some of these questions because I know many people are about to start blasting me with questions that are a lot. I will do my best to answer them as much as possible, but please go ahead and if you want to type your comments in the comment section, please go ahead and do it. If you want to unmute yourself and speak up, please go ahead and do it. I think this is the time to answer questions right about now. Now, one of the things I can do for you, right, is that I could probably take permission from LSCTF, of course, to probably get some further materials across to you, Because like I said, I love you guys so much, so I can always get that additional materials across to you. And even after this training, if you need further assistance, if you want to learn more, there's plenty more where that came from. Let me take questions now. But let me look at my chat box. Question one. Okay. Okay, so let me drop the link. The link is zidwell.com. The link is zidwell.com. So just that's the URL to the platform. Just click on it and all right. Let me try and see. Sorry, I'm not very used to Zoom. Zoom is I'm more of a Google Meet kind of guy. So let me just scroll through slowly so I don't miss any of the questions. Right, okay. So the first one I'm seeing here is please link to creating business account. I've dropped the link. Please, I need more explanation on company income tax on CIT. I need more explanation on company income tax. What is the current rate? So 30%, 30% of your annual profit, annual net profit. Okay. Question one, please, how do you separate it? Please, how do you separate your BVN from your business? And no, you cannot do that. The way Nigerian financial system is that you cannot really, you need your BVN for anything that has to do with money in this country. Anything that has to do with money in this country, you need your BVN. So you can, even though, yes, your business is a separate entity from you personally, you still need your BVN to open a business account. Even on a Zidwell platform, you need your BVN before you are assigned a business wallet. Because CBN basically wants to know who is moving money and where. This is why it is in Nigeria, it's going to be very difficult to escape tax because as far as your BVN is concerned, as far as CBN has your BVN, they are seeing all the money that is moving in your BVN. So in short, I even saw it recently that somebody was owing a particular bank money. He went and put money in another bank. CBN debited that other bank to pay this other bank that is owing. So as far as you have a BVN, CBN is looking at all your accounts, even if you have 20 accounts in this country, right? And you are hiding money in one in the hopes that they will not see another. No. So basically, the answer to that question is no, you cannot separate. You cannot have a business BVN, so to say. It's your personal BVN you use to open your corporate accounts. All right, the next question is concerning the business accounts for our businesses. What's about businesses that are yet to generate up to 50 to 100,000? Do we create a business account? Oh, yes. So see, plan to grow your business, right? When you are creating a business from the beginning, plan to be big. You don't wait and say, no, when I'm big, then I will create structure. Create structure from when you are making 1,000. Very important. Even if you are making just 1,000 naira, create structure around it. You have to think big from the beginning. Think that you will make 10 million, think you will make 50 million, think you will make 100 million. So you create that business account from beginning. Right? Please, very important. So yes, even if you're making just even if you're making just 10,000 naira, you need the business account. Thanks for insightful training. Yes, like I told you, this is a coach attach training. Is always very important. It's always very interesting. Can you help someone restart accounts process for a business? I don't understand what that means. Can you help someone restart account process? Accounting process. Accounting process. I want to believe that's what you mean. Yes, yes, yes. So we'll definitely need your previous records if you have any. And then, of course, we can make your accounting yes, we can always get that done for you. Can someone use your platform without opening a business account? Yes, you can. So if you don't want to if you do not submit your BVN on Zidwell, we will not give you a business account, right? But you can use other things in the app like the bookkeeping, the invoice creation, receipt creation, and the tax calculator, right? You can use other tools in the app, but you will not have a business wallet simply because you did not do your BVN verification. So it's fine if you want to use it without a business wallet. Yes, go ahead. Yeah. Do you offer services to set up accounts? To set up accounts, or you help? When you say set up accounts, I don't know what you mean, but I want to believe that, of course, if we have a conversation, I'll get to understand you more. And the Zidwell app wallet history acts as bank statements, especially when business requires a loan. 100% absolutely. What you have on Zidwell is basically a bank account. As you can see, you saw the bank account. There's a 10 digits bank account. Let me show you again. This is its fund wallet. If you click on fund wallet, this is an account provided by Number Microfinance Bank, right? So if you copy this and put this in any bank app, it will show up. It's basically a bank account. You can see the transactions of this particular demo account, right? So it's a bank account basically, right? So it's basically yeah. So and you can download the statement. So if you come here and click on download statement to ask you, okay, you can download from 15th of February to 17th of March. That is 1 month account statement. You can download it, and it's basically a bank account. Yeah. So that answers that question. For the Ziggo, do we pay to use it, or is free? There's a free trial period after which you can choose a subscription to pay, starting from as low as 10,000 a month. Can we have your contacts? You can send me a DM on Instagram, Coach Atta on Instagram. Let me go and show you some of my accounts on Instagram. So if you come here and search for Coach Atta, this is me on Instagram, very much alive and well. I even did a live stream this morning before I jumped into this training. So this is me on Instagram. You can send me a DM here as much as possible. Or on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn as well. If you want to search for Zidwell, Zidwell is available on Instagram as well. This is a second account for Zidwell. Right, so please follow this account. We share a lot of information here that are very, very useful to business owners as well. As well as as much as possible, follow LSCTF as well on Instagram as well. So yeah, so you can also send me a DM, any of those places. I would definitely answer you. Is there no discount for us that partake this training? Are you always looking for discounts? No, there's no discount because we are among the cheapest app that gives you everything in one. There's no accounting software in Nigeria that you pay 10,000 naira a month to use. Most accounting software are more expensive than that. Why? Because people who create accounting softwares are not targeting SMEs. They are targeting people that can pay them 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month, right? So this accounting software we've created is 10,000 naira a month. But I think there is hold on, I think there's a Z Lite. There is a Z Lite. Hold on, let me go to Tax Manager, and then let me go to upgrade. Let me go to upgrade. Okay, no, I don't think there is. So there's a 10,000 naira plan, 50,000, 100,000 naira plan. So the 100,000 naira plan is we carry your matter on top of our head. We will do all your tax, everything for you. Like, as basically us taking over everything that's to do with your finance, right? So you can, of course, you can do a yearly subscription and get save this thing, right? But of course, yes, transaction fee on the Zidwell app is just 59 transaction fee, flat rates. Whether you're transferring 1,000 or you're transferring 10 million, it's 59 transfer fee, right, for all transfers. So I mean, check it out. I feel it's affordable anyway, right, for an accounting software. Yeah. All right. Any other question? I'm not seeing any other question here. So with that, in the absence of any other question, I would like to thank you guys for joining. I would like to thank LSCTF, and I would like to hand over back to LSCTF to continue the many parts of this training. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Mr. Thanks so much, Mr. Emmanuel, for taking part in today's session. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking part in today's session. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be having a masterclass tomorrow, right here on Zoom. So please follow us on all our social media platforms, turn on your post notifications, and you'd you'd be you so that you do not miss out on any other of our programs that we'll be having. Thank you so much, everyone, for being in attendance to today's session, and we look forward to having you tomorrow on our next session on right here on Zoom. So please follow us on our social media platforms, and thank you so much to everyone that's filled our poll. Just as we end the session, you'll be getting a survey. Please would like to get your feedback on today's session, how you saw it and how you felt it went. We look forward to having you tomorrow on our next session tomorrow on our masterclass session. And I'll be dropping the link in the chat box to those that would so that you do not miss out on tomorrow's session, because tomorrow we'll be talking about how to make data-driven decisions for your small businesses. And I'll be dropping the link right now in the chat box. So do well to click on the link, register for tomorrow's session, and we look forward to having you on the session tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone, for being in attendance, and we really appreciate you and look forward to having you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.